Hello everyone, Teeny here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm so glad you're joining me. Well, I have a fun project to share with you using a stamp set from Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous. It's called Floral Elements. Simon had just came out with some coordinating dies using for this stamp set, and I love popping things up, so we're gonna create a pretty quick and easy floral card using the stamp set today. And I'm gonna jump in and get started. First off, we're gonna do some stamping and heat embossing. I'm going to bring in my stamping positioner, and I'm bringing in some of my distressed watercolor cardstock. I chose 3 flowers and 2 leaves here. Okay, and I'm going to add a little adhesive behind my watercolor cardstock. We'll put this in here. I'm going to treat my paper with my anti-static powder tool. And I'm going to go over this with my Simon Says Stampers Fine Clear ink. And I'm going to stamp this leaf one more time here. So let's go ahead and stamp this. So we'll have 3 leaves and 3 flowers. Lovely. And then I'm going to go over this with some clear embossing powder. And then I'll melt this. I have 4 colors of inks that we're going to use to color in our flowers. And I'm going to use a water brush and my spray bottle. Okay, so what we're going to do is, what I like to do is just add ink here to my glass mat. Another option that you could use is your distress oxide inks if you wanted to. Okay, this is going to be really quick coloring. I'm going to spray my panel here with some water, kind of heavy, and then I'm just going to pick up a little ink with my water brush. And we're just going to add some color and kind of let the water do its job. I like to just tap it. Maybe we'll do 3 different color flowers. Maybe I'm gonna bring in my magnet because this is wanting to curl. Okay. Okay, so I have pink. And then with this one, I'm going to add pink. And then I'm going to wipe off my brush here. For this flower, we're going to add yellow. I think I need a little more water. Just a little tapping motion is all that you really need. And then this one I want it orange. So add some more water, and then I'm going to add the pink with my rhubarb. So this one is going to have 2-tone colors. The leaves are going to be easy. All I'm going to do is pick up a little ink here, and I just like to touch the bottom. Might need a little more ink. A little more artichoke over here. Then I'm just going to touch the bottom here. Just add a little color. And I'm not worried about them going outside the lines because some of these will, because it's open-ended. And all I do is just a little tapping. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to spray. And then I'm going to pick up some brown next. And then we're going to add little touches of brown. Because to me, this just gives a little vintage vibe. It really tones down the brightness of the colors. And we'll go over the flower centers. Add a little more water here. Okay, so we have brown on the leaves. Maybe a little darker brown here. And there we go. Those are my flowers. Now, I don't want to waste this here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take another panel. Let's go ahead and put this over here so we're going to move out our floral panel, and then I'm going to put this to good use. I'm going to add lots of water here, and then I'm going to take another panel of my watercolor cardstock. I'm going to use the same smooth side, and I'm going to just put that in that ink. That turned out really good. I'm going to dry it and then smoosh it again. Lovely. I'm going to add a little more water. This is going to be a little more diluted this time. Now, if I flip this over, it's going to be the same position. So what I'm going to do is flip it like this, and then I'm going to do it one more time. We're just going to ink this up, press it in there, and then I am going to dab off the areas that are looking kind of muddy. There we go. And then I'll dry this. Now, any areas I want a little bit more color to, like over here or over here, I want a little more pink. So I'm just going to press some pink in here. Add some more water here. Each time you add water, it dilutes it a little bit more. But this way I have a little bit more pink. Okay, so this, I'm going to dry off this real quick. And now we're almost done. I'm going to do some splatters now. So we'll take a little bit of rhubarb, a little bit of artichoke, those same colors, and then we're going to do some splattering with it. Also, I'll add some water here, pick it up, and then we can add just a little bit of splatter. Okay, and that's my background. Now you can do another background here if you want, but I think this is going to be great. It's nice and soft. And it's giving me a chance for this over here to dry. I'm going to use my heat gun and help the drying process with this. Now I'm going to put this, we'll eventually cut this out, but I'm going to put this with my background, okay? Now I'm bringing in my tiny text stamp set. My plan is to take all the bold text. We are going to add "Don't Forget to Fly." So it's typewritten and it's the bigger letters. "Blessed are the curious." "Find joy in the ordinary." I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair and we're going to go over these. We'll stamp on here. Great. Lovely. Okay, let's take the coordinating dies now. We have coordinating dies to our flowers and to our tiny text. So we'll just line all these up and cut them out with the rounded ones. I think will be really fun. All my die cutting is all done, and then I did pop everything up with foam tape. Okay, and I kind of arranged my greetings kind of how I want them to go on my card. We're going to actually create a background with these. Okay, before we do that, I am going to add a little extra detail to my home panel here with our stamp set. Okay, there's a little flourish here. So let's bring in an acrylic block. And I'm going to stamp with my VersaFine Clair a couple of these flourishes here. We'll stamp one here, and I'm going to connect them. So I'm going to attach it here. And then maybe one more over here. Lovely. And then I'm going to layer my greetings right over the center. There we go. Okay, I'm going to press. And then we're going to add our flowers. I'm going to go over these. For finishing touches, I'm going to bring in some of my liquid pearls. This is opal white, but you could really use any color. I'm just going to add a little bit to the flower centers. Just a little tad, and maybe a little bit on the edges of the leaves too. I'm going to smear a little bit on the edges. You could use glue if you wanted to, but in case this shows through, I want you to still see the white. Okay, so a little bit on the edges of the leaves and the flower centers here. And then I'm going to bring in some of my distressed glitter. This is Tinsel, and I'm going to use a paintbrush because I don't want glitter everywhere. So I'm just going to pick up a little glitter with a paintbrush, and I'm just going to tap it over the center here. I think I'll have a little bit more control if I use a paintbrush. If you guys don't like using glitter, what you could do is you can use stickles. I think glitter stickles would work the same. But this is actually, the tinsel is really pretty. And that's all I'm going to do to that card. That finishes off another card project using some fabulous items from Tim Holtz collection and Stampers Anonymous. This one here is called Floral Elements. I think this is one of those cards that would go great with a moth on there too. But that's my card today. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.